What if I told you that right now, as you're watching this, your brain is in the middle of a silent war, and most people are losing it without even realizing? Every notification, every scroll, every quick hit of stimulation is not random. It's targeting something ancient inside you, a system designed thousands of years ago for survival, not for the digital chaos of today. And the result? Your focus feels fragile. Your attention slips. Your ability to do meaningful, deep work slowly erodes. But here's the truth most people never hear. This isn't a discipline problem. It's not that you're lazy. It's not that you lack willpower. It's that your brain is being systematically hijacked. And today, we're going to take that control back. Because once you understand how your brain actually works, how its systems compete, how they respond to stimulation, how they can be rewired, you stop fighting distractions and start engineering focus. Inside your brain, two powerful systems are constantly pulling in opposite directions. On one side, you have the prefrontal cortex. This is the part responsible for planning, decision-making, long-term thinking. It's the version of you that wants to build, create, and improve your life. On the other side, there's the limbic system. Older, faster, and far more reactive. It's driven by emotion, impulse, and immediate reward. It doesn't care about your long-term goals. It cares about what feels good right now. And here's where things get dangerous. Modern technology is not neutral. It is deliberately engineered to activate your limbic system. Bright colors, endless feeds, unpredictable rewards. These are not accidents. They are designed to trigger your amygdala, to keep you hooked, to keep you consuming. So when you struggle to focus, it's not because you're weak. It's because your biology is being exploited. Your brain is being pulled toward distraction on purpose. But that tension between your higher thinking and your primitive impulses, that's not a weakness. That's your leverage point. Because if something can be triggered, it can also be redirected. Let's talk about dopamine. Most people think dopamine is about pleasure. It's not. It's about anticipation. It's the chemical that drives you to seek, to scroll, to check, to chase the next thing. Every time your phone buzzes, every time you switch tasks, every time you look for something new, you're training your brain to expect constant stimulation. Over time, this creates what scientists call continuous partial attention. You're never fully focused, you're always slightly elsewhere. And that state is exhausting. Your brain burns energy switching contexts. It loses depth, it loses clarity. Eventually, even simple tasks start to feel difficult. This is what burnout often looks like. Not physical exhaustion, but neurological overload. So how do you fix it? You don't add more motivation. You reset the system. A dopamine reset isn't about removing pleasure from your life. It's about recalibrating your brain's sensitivity. When you reduce constant stimulation, even temporarily, your brain begins to recover its ability to focus on slower, deeper rewards. At first it feels uncomfortable, boring even. That's because your brain has been conditioned to expect intensity. But that discomfort, that's the doorway. When you sit with it, when you resist the urge to escape, you're training your brain to tolerate cognitive friction. And that's where deep work begins. Because real focus isn't fast, it's not exciting, it's deliberate, it's effortful, and it requires a brain that can stay with difficulty long enough to break through it. Now here's where most people go wrong. They rely on willpower. They try to force themselves to focus in environments that are designed to distract them. Phones nearby, tabs open, notifications active, and then they blame themselves when they fail. But willpower is unreliable. It fluctuates, it gets depleted. High performers don't rely on willpower. They design environments that make focus inevitable. Think about that. Instead of resisting distractions, they remove them. Instead of fighting impulses, they eliminate triggers. Your environment shapes your behavior more than your intentions ever will. So, what does that look like in practice? It means creating physical and digital spaces that reduce friction for deep work and increase friction for distraction. Your phone? Out of reach. Or better yet, out of the room. Your workspace? Clean, minimal, optimized for a single task. Your digital environment? Stripped of unnecessary inputs. No endless tabs, no background noise competing for attention. And then you go further. You start building associations. Your brain is constantly linking environments to behaviors. If you always work in the same space, with the same lighting, maybe the same sound or silence, your brain begins to recognize that pattern. It learns, this is where we focus. Over time, you don't have to force concentration. You enter it. That's the power of neuroassociation. Now let's go deeper. Every time you engage in focused, uninterrupted work, something physical happens in your brain. Neural pathways strengthen, signals travel faster. This process is called myelination. Think of it like insulation around a wire. The more you use a pathway, the more efficient it becomes. So focus is not just a skill, it's a structure. You are literally building a brain that is better at concentrating. But this only happens under one condition: depth. Shallow work doesn't create this effect. Multitasking doesn't create this effect. Constant switching doesn't create this effect. Only sustained, uninterrupted effort does. And here's the paradox. To build focus, you must embrace boredom. Because boredom is not the enemy, it's the training ground. When you resist the urge to escape boredom, you increase your brain's tolerance for stillness, for effort, for difficulty. You stretch the window in which you can stay engaged. Most people never do this. They escape at the first sign of discomfort. They reach for their phone. They switch tasks. They break the cycle. And in doing so, they reinforce distraction. But if you stay, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, something shifts. Your brain adapts. Your capacity expands. Your focus deepens. Now let's talk about rhythm. Your brain is not designed to work at maximum intensity all day. It operates in cycles, peaks and valleys, periods of high energy followed by the need for recovery. These are known as ultradian rhythms. If you align your work with these natural cycles, you stop fighting your biology and start working with it. Instead of trying to grind endlessly, you work in focused blocks, usually around 60 to 90 minutes, followed by deliberate rest. During those blocks, you go all in. No distractions, no switching, just depth. And then you step away, not to scroll, not to consume more noise, but to recover, walk, breathe. Let your mind reset. Because recovery is not optional, it's part of the system. Without it, your focus deteriorates, your performance drops, your brain accumulates fatigue. But when you respect these cycles, something powerful happens. You sustain high-level output without burning out. You turn focus into a repeatable process, and over time, that process becomes your default. Now, there's one final piece most people ignore: ending your day. How you stop working is just as important as how you start. If you leave your day open-ended, with unfinished thoughts and unresolved tasks, your brain keeps running in the background. It doesn't fully shut down. That leads to mental fatigue, poor recovery, and reduced clarity the next day. But if you create a deliberate shutdown ritual, reviewing what you've done, planning what comes next, mentally closing the loop, you signal to your brain that it's safe to rest. You allow it to process, to consolidate, to recover. And that recovery is where growth happens. Because deep work is not just about output, it's about transformation. You're not just getting things done, you're becoming someone who can focus in a world designed to distract. You're reclaiming something most people have lost: control over your own attention. And that changes everything. Because attention is the foundation of achievement. What you focus on determines what you build. What you build determines your future. So the real question is not whether you can focus. It's whether you're willing to redesign your environment, retrain your brain, and sit with discomfort long enough to unlock something deeper. Because on the other side of distraction is clarity. On the other side of noise is mastery. And on the other side of this silent war in your mind is a version of you that operates at a completely different level. The kind of focus that doesn't break. The kind of work that actually matters. The kind of life that most people never experience because they never take back control. Now you can. The system is there. The question is, will you use it?